Stand by sound. 1, go.
So we kind of all train each other, and we run through the show consistently.
Okay, we got those guys. Yesterday, so like this morning was really good. Let's do even better. You ready?
Let's do it.
We also like to watch the show kind of like football tape to make sure we know all of our cues.
Okay, house door is closing.
I am the Grand Duchess Anastasia Nikolavina Romanov.
Stand by sound 212. Stand by lights 357. Both go.
Honestly, there's only so much you can do to prepare. Obviously, we do as much as we can to make sure that the costumes are sturdy, but if something happens backstage, we just do what we can.
We have 6-second transition on this turntable down here. It goes on putting the Petersburg flag, and it's very quick. I would say that's probably the one that gets my adrenaline rushing.
We look at a show about a year in advance to start planning out how are we going to coordinate elements, how are we going to get students involved.
Hey everyone, 30 minutes till mic check.
Yeah, so during intermission, I try to check in with every actor that we have backstage. So I'll go up to people and I'll be like, hey, how was the run? Is anything broken? Is there anything you need fixed?
And there are a lot of really fast triggers and cues that have a lot to do with specifically the actors moving on stage. So I have to make sure I am really watching them and make sure I get all of the movements timed with them right.
Coordinating all of the departments together requires a lot of organization, a lot of leadership. With so many things going on, it's so important for me as a director that every piece is cohesive. So we have production meetings. I'm talking with the designers often, the production leadership often, to make sure that all of those elements create one story. Because at the end of the day, if the elements aren't cohesive, the story is clunky and the audience isn't able to receive it as well.
So as front of house manager and props designer, I just kind of make up what I do day to day based on what's needed. And I usually started off by helping out house, assigning roles, making sure that everyone's clear for what they're doing for the show, as well as what they should be doing, giving everyone a task, and checking in with our parent volunteers, as well as sending some people over to them to make sure front of house is all set up. And then I kind of switch between house and props to just double check that everything's ready for showtime.
So backstage here, we have a couple things. Over here is stage left. This is stage right. Stage left, we have a couple things over here. We preset all of our windows for the different transitions. Like we have broken windows right here for a theater scene, and then we also have cabinet files for Soviet office right here. So we always make sure to prep those before the show. We prep guests before the show so the actors can bring them on.
I start backstage and I kind of just make sure that everyone is settled, everyone's good. I see if Miss Kemmer needs any last minute help with anything. And then me and Abby come up here and I make sure that my tracks are all set up. I make sure that I have my binder ready with all my music, and I just kind of go from there.
So for each show, I'm most nervous about the serving trays because they each have 4 champagne flutes full of liquid. And during rehearsal, those fell over a lot. It was a whole situation getting the Velcro underneath and making sure that worked, looked natural, and kept them upright all the time. But those are still very nerve-wracking because they fall over backstage all the time, and it's a mess, and it can be a potential safety hazard if there's liquid on stage.
For the show, I primarily call the cues, which means all the lights, sound, any turntable movements on stage, I call those cues at the precise time that they go. While calling the show, the most stressful part is any song where I need to track the actors on stage. I need to really pay attention to those light cues to make sure I track the actors perfectly and that they stay in their light.
Go. Stand by sound. Go. Stand by sound 26. Stand by lights 43. Sound, go. Stand by lights. Lights, go.
The most stressful part is definitely my quick changes. They're pretty short, so I gotta hustle.
So right now, one of the girls who's in the royal family, the zipper on the back of her dress is broken, and we sewed snaps onto it 2 nights ago. And so we're paying attention to that to make sure that that doesn't burst. And then Lilia, who plays Anya, has 2 ball gown tops that have really sensitive zippers. And so we try to be really careful during quick changes, but we pay really close attention to those, so that those don't break.
The most stressful part of the show for me is definitely the bar scene for Land of Yesterday, because me and Sophia Montero have to pick up this extremely heavy bar that is covered in glasses full of liquid that are like sometimes Velcroed safely and sometimes not so safely to the bar. So we're constantly making sure that nothing's falling. We're trying to move set pieces off while moving this heavy desk on, and it's a pretty time constraint situation.
My favorite part of the show is the Land of Yesterday song, just because it's really fun, and we always go backstage with the other crews, like prop crew, and we all dance along to the show.
Yeah. I would say my favorite part is probably the ending, Still Neo Flow's reprise.
Yes, that's a good one.
I really like the intensity between Gleb and Anya. I think it's interesting. I also really like the lighting with it too. I think it's really cool, and I don't know, I like the mix of like their voices and stuff, and I love watching it. I think it's really cool.
My favorite part of the show is probably the Countess and the Common Man, because it's my most fun one to watch, and it's 2 of my best friends in it, so I just love seeing them perform every night. And I also love, they do something in it, I won't say what, that's a little bit different every night, and so it's really exciting for me to watch and see what they do every night.
Our saying is divide and conquer. As deck crew leads, I feel like the biggest thing I think we've learned is that making sure that a group is together and
Building
that we're
a
kind
family.
of all like family,
Yes.
I would say. And we also like to watch the show kind of like football tape to make sure we know all of our cues, like sound, timing, we know all the musical cues. So we kind of all train each other, and we run through the show consistently, and we're always listening to the soundtrack and things like that. Yeah, loving each other. I think that
Yeah, we
lifting
have
each
a
other
really
up.
big community on Deck Crew,
Yeah.
and it's really helps the collaboration during the show.
I would say so too. I agree. That's a big one.
I hope that the audience takes away this feeling of fun and joy and home nostalgia feeling. It's supposed to feel like you've been there before. It's supposed to feel like you've experienced the story before and kind of bring you a piece of joy. Sometimes theater is meant to really challenge an audience, and sometimes it's meant to bring them joy and be a safety net and be a safe space for a minute, just to kind of escape into this cool world. And that's what I hope Anastasia is this beautiful moment of escape and pause for an audience to get to experience this.